Hi, my name is Andrew, and I'm here to talk about the topic of internet privacy. And just a show of hands, I want to ask how many of you use Facebook? So like more than half the class. And of course, we all know that you read or keep up to date with the terms of service or privacy policy on Facebook. Well, if you have, then you would know that Facebook updates their terms of service or privacy policy quite often. And this is because of the ongoing debates on internet privacy concerns. You may have actually seen a lot of internet privacy topics in the news reports or in the newspapers. And it is often the source of a lot of debate and lawsuits. Most recently, actually, is the one with Twitter, which happened on January 8th of 2011. A court order by the government demanded that Twitter provide information about some of the subscribers who are associated with WikiLeaks. And what WikiLeaks is basically it's a website that releases classified information to the public. So it's a site that's for basically investigative journalism. And Twitter ultimately moved to unseal the court order. However, this is still a big concern to us, mostly because internet users should receive notice and an opportunity to go to court to defend their constitutional rights before their rights are compromised. Which brings me to my claim. I believe that there is a substantial need for internet privacy protection rules on private companies, mainly because these companies fail to protect your privacy, hold onto your information for unnecessary periods of time, and use data mining techniques to profit off of users. First, I want to talk about my first point, which is about how major internet-based companies fail to protect your privacy. One of the major companies that I'm going to be talking about a lot is Facebook. And in 2007, Facebook accidentally made public the coding of their website, which raises a lot of security questions and concerns about how private our data really is, our user data really is. And another really recent update on Facebook, which happened in January 17th of 2011, is that the developer of Facebook, on their own site, stated that they were attempting to allow third-party access to users' home addresses and phone numbers. It's for products and stuff, but to me, I think it's wrong because they are trying to blur the line between public and private information, and the request for permission does not make clear to the user why the information is needed or how it will be used. Also, in 2006, according to The Guardian, which is a news source in the UK that's quite respectable, and it was reported that AOL published the details of 23 million searches made by 650,000 of its customers on AOL research site. But the thing is, the names were simply replaced by numbers which could be easily decoded. And as a result, the researcher who published the material and his manager was fired. A few weeks later, AOL's chief technology officer was forced to resign. And in more recent lawsuits and court cases and stuff, which happened in 2009, is one is Lane versus Facebook, which basically there was a problem with Beacon. And what Beacon is if you don't remember, is a new feature that was added to Facebook, which reports back to the Facebook on members' activities on third-party sites that participate in Beacon. To summarize, the activities include recent purchases. The problem is that Beacon will report even if the users are logged off from Facebook and have declined using their activities broadcast to their Facebook friends. There are a lot of companies that participated in Beacon, worked closely with Facebook and such. And one of those companies that I want to talk about is Blockbuster. And under the same branch of that lawsuit, because a lot of companies were sued through Facebook with Beacon, and one of those is Harris versus Blockbuster. And Blockbuster was found violating Video Privacy Protection Acts by transmitting information about their movie rental choices to third parties through Facebook's Beacon marketing program. So I thought for these two cases, which were really interesting because the company was required to contact the user for permission to use the information, And I believe we need similar laws that totally prevent disclosure of personal information within or outside of the company that has the information. And secondly, my second point is major internet companies hold onto one's information for unnecessary periods of time. And Google's cookies, and what cookies are basically your history and your searches. So Google's cookies originally expired in 2038, but due to like a lot of privacy advocates and a lot of complaints, they decided to only keep cookies for only 2 years. But there's like a loophole around this, and that is if you click on Google or use Google, then the 2 years auto refresh. So it's basically the policy is basically worthless. And you can view this yourself by clicking on the privacy policy on Google's website. Google also retains all data indefinitely. They have no policies stating how long they're able to keep it, although they do anonymize it. And additionally, when deactivating a Facebook account, according to the user policy on Facebook, the profile information will be kept for a reasonable amount of time. And the way they state a reasonable amount of time is really vague. It could be anywhere from like a few days to maybe a decade. And my third fact is internet-based companies profit through data mining of users. And data mining is basically when they try to gain information from you and about you to like advertise, target you and stuff. And one most recent thing about data mining profiting is in October of 2010, it was found that Facebook applications such as Farmville, Texas Hold'em Poker, and Zynga Game Network Inc. sold personal information to marketing companies. Although they were closed down and Facebook made a personal apology to users, it brings a lot of concern over user privacy protection and how safe we really are. So to summarize, companies fail to protect your privacy, hold on to your information for unnecessary periods of time, and use data mining techniques to profit off of users. In conclusion, Bruce Schneier best summarizes the importance of privacy in his essay that he wrote concerning privacy, that we lose our individuality because everything we do is observable and recordable. Overall, major internet-based companies must cease treating personal user information as public. We should be allowed to decide what information to share or keep private. And in order to do so, there needs to be in the internet privacy protection rules on private companies. Thank you.
All right, it takes a while to get to the claim. It's almost 2 minutes into the speech before you finally get to your claim. The subject is clear from the beginning. Your secondary points were laid out pretty well at the beginning, but I didn't think you were consistent about signposting them in the body of the speech. At the end of the speech, though, you had a good summary that reminds us of where it was that you were trying to go and how you were trying to get us there along with you. Your supporting evidence, I think you've got some interesting examples, although I'm not exactly sure what the harms were on those particular cases. On Blockbuster, for instance, what the violation ended up meaning and how it had any consequence, what kinds of data were harmfully leaked, how the system was abused. I know that you suggest with a little bit of disdain that the privacy policies of the companies are really something that people don't understand, and I think you're probably correct on that. I think that you could probably find some better information on those particular points. What I think I need a little bit more of is what the danger of having this information out there is. In essence, people have been tracking folks' buying habits for years, and now you're saying that the information that we're putting online, gives people additional information about us. Okay, why is that problematic? Right at the end, you've got this quote that talks about how we're going to lose our individuality, we're going to become, part of this amorphous sort of, marketing tool, and there's a little bit of a hint of some risk that's going on there, but other than that, You've just described what some of the policies are and why you think it's problematic. So if Google keeps stuff for 38 years or forever, so what? Why is that a problem? Who's going to get access to that information and how is it going to harm us? That's what we need more information on. I thought you did a really nice job talking to the audience, though. You kind of explained your position on some things. There's a lot of analysis and description. I just didn't think that there was as much inference and proof on those points as there needed to be. Thank you.